Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. The abundance unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace and love unto you brothers out there doing this work in truth and sincerity, and also peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And the name of this lesson is going to be the Pharisee and the Publican. And in this lesson, I wanted to read this parable that our Lord Yahweh spoke here in Luke 18 and just break it down through the Spirit, and Lord willing, you brothers and sisters receive edification. So starting here in Luke chapter 18 and verse 9, it reads, "And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous, and despised others." So just from verse 9 alone, we see that this parable is basically about teaching someone a lesson about humility, okay? Those who think that they are all high and mighty, holier than thou attitude, and despise other people as if you are above them, as if you're better than them, as if your works are more righteous than their works. It says here in verse 10, two men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican. Now, who were the Pharisees? The Pharisees was a sect of Israelites, all right, who were basically, doctors and teachers of the law. Some of them were righteous, most of them was wicked. But nevertheless, there was teachers of the law that was held in high esteem amongst the people, that were looked at as righteous, okay? In the publican, there was tax collectors, basically for the Roman Empire, man, and they didn't have a good rep. Do your research. People do not like publicans, man. So they were looked at as wicked or sinners, okay? And these two men should be an example unto every brother in the faith, man. And see which man are you. Are you this Pharisee or are you this publican? Once I read this parable, man. It says, verse 11, the Pharisee stood and prayed thus within himself: God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. So let's examine the first part of this man's prayer. Keep in mind, he is praying to the Most High. And what does he say before the Lord? I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. So this man is basically telling the Most High, look, I'm righteous. Look at all the stuff I do. Or look at all the stuff that I'm not. And then he despised the man who was there, all right, at the temple to pray, the publican. So in the midst of him praying, he despising other people while they praying. This is the attitude of a nigga, man. As if his works, as if he's doing is just so righteous that he can despise other men in his prayer while they praying. That holier than thou attitude. Thanking you, somebody. This is this Pharisee. You don't want to be this guy. It says, I fast twice in a week, verse 12. I give tithes of all that I possess. So basically, this guy just bragging and boasting about himself, man. Verse 13 says, and the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. So let's examine this publican, man. He went to the temple to pray as well, but he stood afar off. Why? Because he didn't even feel worthy, bro. He didn't even feel worthy, man. And listen what he said. God be merciful to me, a sinner. He smote on his breast in grief. On his breast, on his chest. In grief, man. And confess, look, I ain't right, Lord. In other words, help me out. He was humble. And this should be your mentality in the truth, man. You should be humble. You should fear. You should be thankful. Because the Most High could have just left you in the world bugged out. Game banging or something, you know? But he let you get this word, man. And when you get this truth and you understand it, or you start to understand it, don't get high and mighty, bro. Don't think you somebody because you're getting the comments and the likes and the shares or whatever you get. Don't let it get to your head, bro. YouTube likes and views have consumed certain men in Israel. They're consumed by it. Pompous. Because of some likes, some shares, and some views, man. Some comments. Now you think you're on a level. Now you're despising other men and their works. But want to be praised for everything that you do. You don't want to be like that, man. This is about humility. Asking the Most High for help. Because we're sinners, bro. We sin every day. We offend every day, bro. And that's just the truth of the matter. So we need that mercy. He said, be merciful. We need that mercy, man. Because I ain't depending on my own righteousness to be saved. I ain't got none. Our righteousness are as filthy rags before the Lord, man. But what is pure is our faith, right? Humility. Paul said, ain't no law against humility. That's pure. Ain't no law against, love. That's pure. And Paul named a few more things of the Spirit inside Galatians 5, man. You should have those attributes. Those things are pleasing to the Most High, But yeah, man, I'm reading on, it says, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. Why? It says, for every one that exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbled himself shall be exalted. The Pharisee didn't get accepted because he was boasting and bragging about his righteousness, man. As if he was just so special, and despising the man who praying, who trying. A man who really seeking, bro. Asking for mercy. That's what the Lord gonna deal with and bless, man. But a boastful, proud person, you're gonna be in last place, bro. And be humbled by the Most High. Okay? So Lord willing, this is edifying. I praise Yahweh Shalom.